Since we learned about the Supreme Court decision that will overturn Roe v. Wade, ending abortion as a right and allowing states to up to and completely ban abortion if they so please, one of the things I've been talking about is that it is very unlikely the right will be satisfied with just this and will be willing to just say, okay, we got rid of the abortion thing. We're done. We're satisfied. When you have arguably one of your biggest wins in decades, you don't say, well, that's it, we're done. You try to do more. And one of the things I said is that there will be efforts to go further. And these efforts might include maybe trying to overturn the Supreme Court decision that ultimately legalized gay marriage by banning bans on gay marriage. That's one possibility. Overturning co-payment free contraception as part of Obamacare. And we included in this, what about interracial marriage? And of course, that's more far-fetched, although there are some people who are against abortion who are against interracial marriage as well, although it is a little bit more extreme. So some of you have called in and written to me and said, David, that's an imaginary slippery slope. That's not really likely to happen. And I think you're very wrong, and I'm going to tell you why. First, I do want to quickly tell you about our sponsor, Policy Genius. If someone relies on your income, could be a child, a parent, spouse, business partner, it can be important to have life insurance. It's not fun. I don't like dealing with life insurance, but I do it because it's the right thing to do. Many people don't have nearly the amount of life insurance they need if they get it from their employer, as an example. Having enough coverage is valuable in terms of peace of mind, and Policy Genius simplifies the process. You go to policygenius.com/David Pakman Show. You answer just a few questions. They'll find the best deals from top companies. And when you're ready to sign up, they do everything for you. Policy Genius is free to use. They don't sell your information. You can talk to a licensed expert if you have questions. Even if you have life insurance, just take the 2 minutes and see if you could get a better deal. You could save 50% or more by comparing quotes with Policy Genius. That's policygenius.com/David Pakman Show. So our LGBT friends, many of them are understandably worried as a result of what's happening with Roe v. Wade, because quite simply, if the Supreme Court can start to say precedent, we don't care about precedent, even though they said they did, these justices during their Supreme Court confirmation hearings, and they say, well, Roe v. Wade's gone. The Obergefell case, which banned bans on same-sex marriage, that could be revised and that could be overwritten and undone as well. And I know that we talk about interracial marriage. No, they're never really going to come for that. That would be crazy. Well, the point here is it wouldn't be particularly more difficult, legally speaking, than what they've done with Roe v. Wade. And there are Republicans talking about this. Charlie Kirk said, if Roe v. Wade can be eliminated, then anything is possible. Republican Senator John Cornyn has tried to make the case that the gay marriage decision, Obergefell v. Hodges, was faulty and it was an edict of the Supreme Court and that it should just be eliminated. And he seems to have an ally there, at least potentially, in Justice Samuel Alito, who whined in a speech to the Federalist Society that religious families are the real victims of gay marriage. That doesn't sound particularly good to me. Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn, who famously asked Joe Biden's Supreme Court nominee Ketanji Brown Jackson to define a woman during those confirmation hearings, Blackburn said she's against Griswold v. Connecticut. That's the decision from 1965, which granted the right to privacy on which Roe v. Wade was based. And it also allowed married couples the right to buy and use contraceptives without any government restriction. She says that was a constitutionally unsound decision. So right now, the issue for me is less about, do Republicans really want to ban interracial marriage? That's not literally what I'm saying, although there are some Republicans who do. I've interviewed some of them on my show. It is more about the legal proceedings and process that led to Roe v. Wade going like that, assuming that it does, and we are standing by for that official decision, but the decision has been leaked. It could be applied in many other places, and there is an appetite from the right for exactly that. A lot of these, one of the arguments, let me mention one other thing. One of the arguments that was made for a long time about why abortion shouldn't be a right is that, quote, the Constitution doesn't mention it. Now, that's a fraught argument. And we've talked to constitutional law professors who say the Constitution doesn't have to mention something by name for it to be okay for court decisions to enshrine a right. That there's nothing fundamentally wrong with that. But it is true that the Supreme Court also doesn't mention the words gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, queer, etc. And although I don't think that's a good argument, and constitutional law professors have told me that it's not a good argument, it is an argument that could be used to take away all sorts of other rights and protections. And so I expect that this is not the end. I don't pretend to know how far they're going to try to go, but it is going to be further than just overturning Roe v. Wade. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.